Hey everybody, welcome to Weight Loss for Women Over 40. We are diving into the second series this year. This series is Confidence in Your Clothes. So I wanted to do something different this year. This is my sixth year doing this podcast, and so I'm doing series throughout the year. So the first series we just wrapped up. If you want to go listen to that, go binge listen. And the second series again is Confidence in Your Clothes. And the series is about the deep connection between how you feel in your body and how you feel in those clothes, and how to finally flip the shame and guilt and frustration into confidence, ease, and yes, even enjoyment wearing those clothes. And I think it's perfectly timed because as of this recording, we are about to go into March, which is kind of when spring cleaning starts happening, when we start looking at those summery spring clothes. And because winter clothes, they're bulky. We can wear whatever, hide things. It's very easy to bundle up in a bunch of layers and clothes and kind of not have to I don't want to say admit what's going on, but you don't have to address it as starking as it is when spring starts rolling around and the sleeveless shirts come out and the shorts and whatever else you're wearing. So I am your host, Nikki T, and this podcast, Weight Loss for Women Over 40, is really about helping you realize that it isn't about the diet and it's not about the workout. Yes, they are a part of it, and I don't like the word diet, but it is about what food you're eating and how you're moving your body. But the real key is that permanent weight loss starts in your mind, starts in your mindset. We got to start there. So we talk a lot about psychology and things like that. So I hope that if you are enjoying this podcast, hit that subscribe button, leave a review. That helps boost the algorithm to get this podcast out to more people. So let's dive into today's topic. So, in today's episode, again, we're going to be diving into something that hits, I think, all of us. I know for me, it's been a big contention in my life. But why clothes trigger shame and really how to flip it. So tell me if this is you. Have you ever stood in front of your closet holding your favorite pair of pants or that cute little dress that you used to feel so amazing in, and you feel this like tightness of panic in your stomach or in your chest or somewhere? And that little voice creeping in goes, I can't wear that anymore. I look terrible in it. What's up with that roll going on there? Why do I even try? I definitely feel your pain in this. And again, the irony of me doing this series, I was just coaching a private client the other day about the clothes in her closet. And I know if you have listened to my podcast, I know I've talked about this before, but it was one of the most defining moments in my life. I can't remember how old I was. I was in my 30s. And looking on the outside, I had the body. I had the body, but inside it was a hot mess. And I was getting ready for an event or somewhere we were going at the time, and I had to wear a dress and heels and look like a 10. And nothing in my closet I felt like fit me or looked good. And we're talking like when I look back on it now, I'm just like, it probably, like I had this image again. Remember, I was a ballet dancer. I always had a flat stomach, right? So if there was any kind of bulge or anything, to me, that was like a nightmare. That was like the world was going to end and I couldn't wear that dress. Um, and I know if you hear that, that sounds like some of you it's going to resonate. Some of you it's going to be like, really, you're worried about a bump? Yeah, because everybody has their own mind drama. Everybody has that thing that to them is so huge. And to somebody else, it's like, I would kill to have that little bump. So I get it. But I remember in that moment not finding anything in my closet that I thought would look good. And literally in the fetal position on the floor, sobbing and crying. It was one of the lowest moments in my life because it was just it was just a lot of shame going on in my body and in what I thought my standard had to be and things like that. Don't get me wrong, I've had other moments in my life where I've been in a lot of sorrow and depth. Like as I'm telling this to you, I feel like it is kind of feel like when I look back on it, it feels very superficial. It feels very like, really, you sat there and cried because a dress didn't fit you. where there's so many other moments in my life, what I went through going through the divorce and things like that, and other personal things in my life. Like to me, they hold weight. They feel like, yes, it's valid that you were upset during, what I found out in the marriage and leaving and all that stuff. And then to compare it to a dress not fitting. So I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but I want you to know that if you, whatever camp you're in, whether you think that's very like superficial or whether you're like, oh my gosh, I can totally relate to it. I just want you to know that it doesn't matter if you are 100 pounds, 200 pounds overweight, or you're 5 pounds overweight. You are running on patterns that are telling you certain things about that extra weight that you carry. Okay. So now we're going to get back on track. But my point is, in sharing that story is I've been there. I understand when you look at clothes and what's going on and you're just like, oh, really? Especially clothes that you really like back in the day or whatever, or they have, you thought you looked really cute. That's another story that I've told in the past of I had this really cute outfit and I thought I looked great. And I went to my dad's 80th birthday. This was a while ago since now. And we had taken a family picture. And of course, nowadays you can see the picture right away. And my sister-in-law showed it to me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I look like I'm 6 months pregnant. What is going on?" Right? And thank God I had the mindset tools that I use for my clients because I didn't fall into a heap and cry. I was evaluating what was going on, and like it was very interesting. And I had taken a picture like the day after, which I'd done nothing different than I normally did. And you can see such a drastic change. I did look like I was 6 months pregnant in the one picture. And then in the other picture that I took a day later in my normal workout clothes, I was like, yeah. So really gone off a tangent, but that's okay. Hopefully it was helpful for to show the clarity. But clothes are often our mirrors, right? Not just for our bodies, but they reflect the beliefs that we have about ourselves. And again, me growing up as a ballet dancer, your body, like, yes, you had to dance, but your body had to look certainly a certain way. And so I have a bunch of beliefs and a bunch of standards about how I should be looking. Now, add personal trainer to that and being a woman in general, that can feel pretty heavy, right? I'm sure you can relate. Maybe you were an athlete at one time, or maybe you're CEO of your company and you feel like you have to, look really put together and have this certain image. I get it. But there's a lot of shame from past messaging that we have. And maybe it was a comment that a parent or a boss or a friend even said. It could have been just someone in passing saying something, right? Again, you've heard me on the podcast talk about the comment my ballet teacher made when I think I was 14, 15. It was right when my body was starting to shift a little bit into, period and puberty and all that stuff, and how my thighs were so big compared to the rest of my body. And that really did traumatize me. Nothing against her. That's just how she was, right? That's a whole nother topic. But I internalized it and it really scarred me. I still carry it around a little bit today, not as much as I used to, but that thought of my thighs being too big, yeah, I mean, I probably didn't even crack that until late 40s. So we're only talking a couple years where I've been comfortable in my thighs. That's a long time. Think 14 to say 45. Anyway, we carry this stuff around. And maybe it's societal. Like, as women, it's shoved down our throats that we need to look perfect or look like a Barbie or look a certain way. Whatever that image was. It could be Twiggy, it could be Marilyn Monroe. There's so many different ideals that we were taught of what looks good, what looks perfect, what fits into the surroundings that you're in. And over time, these messages, right, they sit quietly under the surface until we try something on and we look in the mirror and it all starts bubbling to the surface. It all kind of explodes, right? That dress, that pair of pants that you're trying on wakes you up to some sort of standard that you're carrying around with yourself. And then what do? If we're not in the mindset arena, like if you're not a client of mine and doing this work and helping and me helping coach you on it, you're going to emotionally eat. You're going to go look for the next diet. You're going to obsess over the numbers on that scale. You are going to obsess about food logging, micromanaging your food, looking at macros and weighing and all food and all this stuff. You may be looking at drugs, right? Weight loss pills. You may be looking at shots, the weight loss shot. You may be looking at procedures, cutting. I'll never forget. I talked to this woman and she wanted to cut off her stomach. Like the fact that she had gone to the point where she wanted to remove skin and like a whole body part. That's a lot of mindset work that needs to be undone. And this new stuff that's coming out with weight loss, I don't want to get too much into it, but as a side experiment, start looking at the commercials that we're being blasted by and what are all the side effects, right? We're looking at these medications as a way to help one area of your life, but it's dive like, and the fact that they admit to all these other things going on with whatever else, they're trying to treat is alarming to me. And there's new studies coming out about the shot, bone density and things like that. So do your due diligence. I'm not swaying you one way or another. You know what's best for you. I'm just saying make sure you have all the information. Um, but again, a lot of people are so hell-bent on getting this body that they will do anything for it in lieu of possibly feeling more depressed because you're on some drug that makes you want to commit suicide or having other body parts basically decay and stuff happens, right? Like there's a lot of alternatives to pills and shots and things like that and procedures like the mindset work, right? This is why I'm so passionate about it because you don't need all that crap. Sorry, that's my opinion. You don't need all that stuff. You don't need the pills, the potions, the procedures. Because once you get your mindset set up, you will know how to lose weight no matter what's going on in your life. And here's the thing, those people that are taking the shots, not everybody, but the shots, the drugs, the procedures, a lot of times they go through them and they still are operating from the dieter's mentality that they had before they had all this done because they thought that that thing would take it away. But it doesn't. Think about all the diets you have tried in the past. Each diet you thought it was going to be a new thing. It was going to be the thing that changed your life. It doesn't work like that because it's all external stuff. You have to do the internal work in order to get the body that you want. So a lot of this stuff, we're ignoring the damaging things that it's doing to our body, right? We avoid mirrors. There's another thing that you will do. And heaven forbid, someone should want to take a picture of you, even if it's face up, right? Full body, you might freak out a lot, but even face up, sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, my face, right? And you're going to feel defeated over and over again because you are trying on clothes and looking in the mirror and you're judging yourself. A lot of shame and guilt is coming up. So your body and your wardrobe are in constant conversation, and that conversation is often very unconscious, right? It's the white noise of that little internal chatter that keeps telling us who we are, who are we kidding keeping these smaller size clothes, right? Or you have shame of a time that you think is never going to happen again. And yes, the time is not going to happen again. But if you have a pair of pants or a shirt that you absolutely love that you haven't worn in 20 years, you could totally wear it again if you wanted to, right? You may not be able to go back in time and be that person, but you could if you wanted to fit into those clothes. I know me personally, I do have a lot of different clothes in my closet. Um, Again, back to when I was a personal trainer, I was tiny. I was a size 0 in some things and a size 00 in other things. And I still have a lot of those pants or shorts or whatever. Do I want to be that small again? Probably not. Probably not. But yet I still have them thinking, do I want to wear them? Now and then you go back to like, okay, I'm also 52. Do I want to be wearing that style that I wore in, I guess it was probably more in the early to 20, not in the early 2000s. So I was probably in that 0 to 00 frame, probably from 2000 to, I don't know, 2000, probably when I had my, no, I- I'm digressing here. My son was born in 2005, so of course I had pregnancy weight, and then my daughter came 2 years, a little less than 2 years later, but I had lost all the weight, so I probably still was in that range. So, we're talking what, 18 years? Styles have changed. I don't know, as a 52-year-old, should I be wearing really, really short shorts? Anyway, but we have a lot of shame about the version of us that we were back then, right? And every time that you step into an outfit that doesn't feel right, your brain, lovely primitive brain, sends a signal of danger. Not actual danger, right? But danger of your self-image, your identity, and your confidence. And your body will react. When you put on those clothes, notice, do you have tightening in your chest? Does your breathing become more shallower? Maybe you have that urge to hide, to shrink, to go eat, right? To soothe your discomfort, to put on a big hoodie and some sweatpants. What most people do is they try to solve it by changing their body, right? You put on these pair of pants and you're like, oh, they're too tight. I must change my body. And you go for that diet, you go for another thing that's filled with restriction and lots of things that you actually don't want to do. But clothes don't shame you because your body's bad. There's nothing wrong with your body, whether it's 5 pounds overweight or 600 pounds overweight. There's nothing wrong with your body, right? We're talking on a mental capacity. Yes, there's a healthier version of you, but if you're just talking pounds, you yourself, you are not a bad person if you are overweight. The clothes are representative of the shame that you have because your mind hasn't caught up with your body, or your mind is still in current day and you think you should be in a smaller version of your body, right? So your thoughts, your past beliefs, your hidden insecurities, they are what trigger the response that you're having, that physical response. So how do we actually flip this script in our head? So first of all, awareness without judgment. And this can be very challenging for you guys, especially if you're a perfectionist, high achiever, that kind of thing. When you look in the mirror, just look. Notice what the outfit triggers in you. Where do you feel it in your body? Do you feel it in your chest? Do you feel it in your stomach? How about your shoulders, your neck? Where is it? And just observe it without trying to jump out of the feeling so fast, right? You don't need to fix it right away. Second thing I want you to do is I want you to challenge your story, because the story inside your head is going to feel so true. So for me, with bigger thighs, that story that my thighs are too big for my body felt really, really true. And I could ask 1,000 different people and I would get 1,000 different responses on their version of what my thighs should be. So I want you to ask yourself, when you hear that story in your head, question if it's true, first of all. Second, whose voice are you hearing? Because when I hear my thighs are big, I hear my dance teacher. Notice the voice that you're hearing. And is this actually your truth? Because it could be someone else's idea of you or what they think you should be. You might be surprised how often the shame that you're carrying isn't even yours. Like it was put on you and you made it mean something about you. Next, what I want you to do is I want you to anchor in what is actually real. Like your body is very capable. It is strong. It is alive. It does a lot for you without you even thinking about it. Right now, your heart is beating and you're not going, hey, heart, beat, beat for me. Come on, beat for me. No, it's just automatic. Your body doesn't care what size you are, right? That little tag in your clothes doesn't matter, right? That was all made up. So I want you to try an experiment. Put on the outfits and give yourself permission to just look and be present in that moment. Even if your brain starts screaming, oh my God, I look terrible. And it says all kinds of nasty things about yourself, which, by the way, none of them are true. You get to decide what you think of that outfit. Maybe you keep it as incentive to keep moving forward on the body goal that you have. Or maybe you give that piece of clothing a big hug and send it off to a thrift store where someone else can love it as much as you did. And then go buy yourself some new clothes that fit in the current version of you. Now, as a side note, if you're going to keep that article of clothing for incentive, you may not beat yourself up over it. And you may not let shame be your driving factor to get the body. So, in other words, this is a dieter's old favorite. Put that bikini on a hanger out where you can see it all the time. How does that make you feel? Does it make you feel driven or does it make you feel really bad? If it makes you feel driven in a positive way, keep it up. If it doesn't, take it down. So the fourth thing I want you to do is celebrate your wins, not numbers. Confidence is not about hitting a size. It's about feeling unstoppable in the skin you're in right now. Every step towards feeling good in your clothes will rewire the shame response. Now, I know this can be very challenging. Accepting where you are and still feeling unstoppable in the body, that's a lot of mindset work. But just know it is possible. And for those of you who are listening, who are like, yeah, but and I bring this up because my clients bring it up, if I feel really good in my body now, then I won't have any drive to change it and I won't lose weight or I won't get the body that I want. That's not true. When you get good with yourself, we as humans constantly want to evolve. So if you are content with yourself, and I don't like the word content, but if you are at peace with the body that you have right now, you as a human are naturally going to be driven to challenge that body, to see what it can do, but not based on shame, judgment, beratement. It's going, I have this amazing body that I love. I'm going to take care of it. How can I do that? Not, I am going to get this leaner body and then I will like myself. Doesn't work that way. Just doesn't. You watch. And again, I can coach you. You can come in as a client and I will coach you on this. But if you can get to the space of being at peace with the body that you have right now, watch how quickly your body will change because you're not holding on to that stress. You're not holding on to those stories that you keep telling yourself. And it's coming from love and compassion, not from shame. And I shouldn't be in this body, this overweight body that I'm in. You guys are getting me on the soapbox today, let me tell you. All right. Here is a little exercise that you can do today. I want you to go pick out an item, just one item out of your clothes that usually triggers shame for you. Put it on, stand in front of the mirror, a full-length mirror, mind you. Take 3 deep breaths and tell yourself silently or out loud if you feel comfortable, I am not my shame. I am capable. I am enough. Move in the outfit, walk around, stretch a little bit, lift your arms up, whatever. Notice how your body responds to it. Okay? Even if you can't pull those pants up and button them, just humor me, okay? Try the exercise. Then, once you notice what your body is feeling, journal one thing that surprises you about this experience. So, this could come and develop in so many different ways for everybody. So, use this as an experiment, okay? Just see what's going on in your body, in your brain, how you feel. If you start doing this consistently, you're going to start flipping that old automatic shame response into a new and more confident one. So next time you're staring at a pair of pants or a dress that once made you feel absolutely amazing in, or maybe it never did, either way, remember that the shame isn't coming from the actual clothes. It's coming from old beliefs that are ready to be rewritten. The mindset that needs to be rewired. In our next episode in this series, we're going to go even deeper. We're diving into a topic that trips up so many of us women. It's the psychology of fit versus size. So if you've ever thought, if I were only a smaller size, I'd feel confident, then the next episode is going to be for you. If you are ready to get all of this mindset stuff together for your weight loss journey and get it personalized for you, I want to invite you to apply for private coaching. This is where I am personally going to guide you through your unique mindset blocks and help you unravel the hidden patterns that are keeping you stuck. So you can finally feel confident in your body, your clothes, and yourself. If you are ready to apply, go to weightlossforwomenover40.net/call. Fill out the application. I personally review all of them, and then I will be in touch if we are a good fit. Again, that link is weightlossforwomenover40 at the end.net/call. All the links will be in the show notes. I hope you enjoyed this episode. You got me a little fired up today. That's all good. Hopefully it was helpful for you. And I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.